Tonight on KGW News, police arrest a suspect they say tried to abduct an 11-year-old off a Vancouver playground. Plus,
he was a true hero at heart. He was a warrior.
As sisters remember the brother who died after he jumped into the Willamette to save a stranger's life. Then, one after the other, the Obamas electrify the convention hall in Chicago.
If we see a mountain in front of us, we don't expect there to be an escalator waiting to take us to the top.
And later, a fight with cancer renews an athlete's dedication.
If it's not you, then it's going to be someone you love or care about.
The life lesson he's putting forward as he gets ready to run for survivors everywhere. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. We begin at 11 with the latest chapter in what the loved ones of a Portland man shot to death while hiking in the woods call a botched case. Catherine Cook looks into why a new lawsuit filed by Aaron Christensen's family is likely their only hope for some kind of justice.
It's important to remember Aaron, and he was a great man. He was a good bass player.
And he was a really, really generous, kind person.
Since Aaron Christensen was killed 2 years ago,
He was one of my closest friends.
Ezra and Kate Meredith have been waiting for justice.
No justice in this case at all. It's been 2 years. Absolutely insane, ridiculous.
In August of 2022, the Merediths, Christensen, and other friends went camping in the woods of Lewis County, Washington. Christensen and his dog Buzz went on a hike but never returned. Their bodies later discovered on a trail, shot to death. Detectives identified then 20-year-old Ethan Osbach and a 17-year-old girl from Thurston County as suspects. The two have never been charged. On Monday, exactly 2 years since Christensen's death, the family sued Osbach and his father, Michael Osbach, for $3 million. They claimed he gave his son the pistol used in Christensen's death and told him to use it as protection in the woods. Osbach's family had told investigators that Osbach shot Christensen thinking he was a wild animal in the bushes. Last year, the prosecutor in Lewis County said he wouldn't charge Osbach with felony manslaughter, citing lack of sufficient facts in the case.
Oh, they messed up big time. They bungled the whole thing.
Christensen's family agreed. Shortly after the prosecutor's decision, they filed a $20 million tort claim notice against Lewis County. It accused investigators of tampering with evidence by moving Christensen's body from the trail even after a deputy spotted a puncture wound. Christensen's family also said investigators suggested he died from a heart attack or possibly from tainted drugs. The coroner later ruled his death a homicide by gunshot. The Christensen's attorney was incensed.
The impropriety that we're seeing and that we believe occurred happened with Buzzo and the dog being in the exclusive care of Lewis County Sheriff and various deputies there. And suddenly popping up with an exit wound that the medical professionals say was not there.
What's more, family members say investigators told them that Osbach, the suspect, was, quote, a good kid from a good family.
A good kid would not flee the scene. A good kid would run down the mountain and find someone. He was a mile and a half from people.
The Merediths say they'll never stop hoping for justice for their friend, even if their only recourse is through lawsuits.
I don't think there's ever going to be justice in this. I don't think we're ever going to know the truth because I don't think Ethan Osbach has been here to tell his truth his whole life.
We reached out to the Lewis County Sheriff's Office and to Ethan Osbach for their perspectives on where this case stands and are waiting for their responses. David.
Yeah, 2 years on. Catherine, appreciate that update. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, Vancouver police have arrested a man they say tried to abduct an 11-year-old girl from a playground. The incident was Sunday afternoon at Leaser Crest Park in the Vancouver Heights neighborhood. Police say surveillance video played a key role in helping them identify Michael McLaughlin. He faces charges that include unlawful imprisonment and assault. And staying in Vancouver, police are looking for the person they say shot at several vehicles at a drive-by overnight. This was just before 11:30 near Fruit Valley Road and West 31st. Police say they recovered more than 50 shell casings. No one was hurt, and so far, no word on any suspects. And the suspected arsonist who set a century-plus-old downtown Portland church on fire last year has now been found guilty, except for insanity. The fire destroyed the 119-year-old Korean church near Southwest 10th and Clay. Court documents indicate Nicolette Fay was diagnosed with a mental disorder. The judge ordered her sent to the Oregon State Hospital under custody and treatment for up to 20 years. New tonight, the family of a Salem man who jumped into the Willamette to save a stranger and lost his own life in the process say they aren't surprised by what they call his heroism. Alma McCarty is in the newsroom with that story. Alma?
David, they say Derek Morgenstern would be the first to tell you that he wasn't perfect, that he struggled with his mental health and addiction, but they say he was a good person, and his final act showed his true heart.
On the night of August 12th, at Wallace Marine Park in Salem.
He was down here on shore, hanging out with his dog and some people, and he saw her up there.
Derek Morgenstern witnessed a woman jump from the Union Street Bridge into the Willamette.
When that girl was up there, he just knew he had to save her.
His sisters, Elena Morgenstern,
he did it anyways,
and Corey Ingstrom,
he would die trying,
say his natural instinct was to go in after her.
And he just ran in, dropped his bag, stripped off his shirt, emptied his pockets, told his dog Brownie to stay, and then just ran in at almost 11 o'clock at night, knowing what this river is like.
Witnesses told Salem police he swam out to rescue the woman, helping her out of the current. Although she made it to shore, Derek did not.
He told her, "It's okay, I'm done. It's my time," and then he just, the next thing she knew, she looked back and he was gone.
Days later, divers located his body in the river.
They found him right where he went down.
Elena and Corey say they've received an outpouring of support for their 35-year-old brother.
Some people have good hearts, and he had a good heart. I just love him, and I miss him so much.
They're now planning a celebration of life here by the river, the place where he lived and died.
He went out showing the world his true heart. Not the addiction, not the mental illness, not his issue with the police. He came out the way we all wanted him to, wanted people to see him.
In Salem, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Developing tonight, a freight rail bridge on the south side of the Portland Metro remains shut indefinitely after a fire broke out around a train trestle overnight. Check this out. Fire crews responded just after 2:30 this morning on the east side of the Lake Oswego rail bridge. Video shows the structure engulfed, but they got it out in about 10 minutes. Trains are now being detoured around that crossing over the Willamette. No one was injured. No homes were damaged. And neighbors are thankful that things did not get worse.
The sound that it made caused some concern that maybe there was going to be a collapse.
We got up this morning and we smelled a lot of smoke in the air, and we were walking around our front yard and we noticed these big pieces of ash.
The railroad company says it appears there was a fire pit underneath the trestle. The official cause remains under investigation.
Who's going to tell him? Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
Oh, former First Lady Michelle Obama came out swinging on night 2 of the Democratic National Convention, turning one of former President Trump's controversial lines into a sharp retort. And tonight, she and other high-profile Democrats, including former President Barack Obama, pointed to a brighter future under a President Harris. NBC's Bree Jackson with the latest from Chicago.
All of our votes for Kamala Harris for the office of President of the United States.
A celebratory and ceremonial roll call.
Let's go, let's go! Turn it up for what?
Democrats making history by nominating Vice President Kamala Harris as the first woman of color to lead a major party's presidential ticket.
This is a people-powered campaign, and together we will chart a new way forward.
Our nation's first black president, Barack Obama, marking the historic occasion.
Kamala Harris is ready for the job. This is a person who has spent her life fighting on behalf of people who need a voice and a champion.
Mr. Obama laying out what's at stake in the 2024 election as the re-energized Democratic ticket seeks to defeat former President Trump.
The truth is, Donald Trump sees power as nothing more than it means to his ends. He wants the middle class to pay the price for another huge tax cut that would mostly help him and his rich friends.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama adding that Harris is ready to lead the country into a new chapter, turning the page on fear and division.
Kamala Harris is more than ready for this moment.
Second gentleman Doug Imhoff painting his wife as a loving and joyful warrior who rises to the occasion.
Kamala is a joyful warrior. It's doing for her country what she has always done for the people that she loves. Her passion will benefit all of us when she's our president.
Supporters laying out a bold vision of how they believe the country would benefit from a Harris-Walz administration. In Chicago, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Straight ahead here on KGW News at 11, a 180 from the Multnomah County Sheriff when it comes to jailing people arrested under Portland's camping ban. Plus, the cancer survivor ready to run hood to coast and share an important message, he says, with anyone and everyone willing to listen.
Wow, and we will talk hood to coast weather this year, too. We're not going to see a whole lot of that. Sunsets tonight for you from the Dalles. We had a full moon last night. We'll talk about the next full moon, which is the harvest moon. And again, the showers kick in tomorrow, and it's going to be wet potentially for hood to coast.